Live at Texas Stadium, where it is unseasonably warm for this time of year, as the Cowboys entertain the Green Bay Packers. Both teams are 4-4. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, you look at the 4-4 record of both teams. They're both struggling. They both have injured players. What do you see in today's game?
Well, like you say, they're both struggling, and you know that the Dallas Cowboys are starting with Jason Garrett, and you can't say Jason Garrett, you go out there and beat Troy Aikman, because he can't do that. But everyone else has to pick it up. Chris Warren is going to be doing the running game. Chan Gailey told us yesterday that he feels that offensively, his offensive line has to win it for him. Defense, they get Leon Lett back today. Deion Sanders is going to play. He's hurting a little, but they have to come up with some big plays and some turnovers. And you just can't be on one guy's shoulders. Now, as far as the Green Bay Packers struggling, they're really all about Brett Favre. But I talked to Brett Favre before the game, and I watched him in the pregame warm-up, and I will say this. He's a lot better throwing the ball. He's a lot better acting than he was a week ago. And the Packers go as Brett Favre goes. Now, they talk about on defense, they want to be more aggressive. They really haven't done it this year. I think they're going to do it today. I think they're going to blitz Jason Garrett a lot.
Texas Stadium, one of the most memorable sights in all of pro football. Up there close to where Lambeau Field is, this has been an edifice that there have been many, many great contests that took place here. Toby Goen will kick off. He's number 4 to Mitchell and Demond Parker.
Demond Parker has a lot of speed. In fact, Ron Wolf said he can be a home run hitter, this guy.
It means that Desmond Howard is not active, not in the picture to return kicks for the Packers today.
And you wonder if Desmond Howard is ever going to be active again for the Packers. I kind of have the feeling that they want to go in a different direction.
You do get that feeling, don't you?
Yes, I do. I think they'd like Demond Parker to get this game and get this ball and test out his speed in the game.
Goen kicks off. Both teams with a 4-4 record, and a lot of things can happen before this day is over. Already has happened. Let's look at Green Bay's offense as usual. And for the past 7 years, led by Brett Favre, whose record against Dallas is 1-4. The offensive line, Verba, Andruzzi, Winters, Rivera, and Earl Dotson. Dorsey Levens and William Henderson in the backfield. Schrader and Freeman, the wideouts, and Tyrone Davis at tight end. There's the key man, however, Brett Favre.
Like I said earlier, just watching him in the pregame warm-up, he looked a lot better than he did a week ago.
Levens, the fake. Freeman, incomplete. Flag on the play. Right off the bat, Kevin Smith is saying, "What did I do?"
Well, Kevin Smith does that a lot. Pass interfere and then say, "What did I do?"
Jerry Austin, the referee, and the Packers on first down go deep and get an interference call.
You see, what happened is Kevin Smith just went up there a little early. This is the other side, and you can see that Deion Sanders is really hurting out there today, Pat. He has a pulled hamstring and pulled groin.
Favre again. He's going in that direction.
Favre saw it too. That's a touchdown. Deion Sanders couldn't run. He just ran right off the field.
He just had to let him go.
And
those of you watching the other games, 24-24, the Bears and the Vikings in the fourth quarter. This one just started. The other game, fourth quarter, Philadelphia beating Washington 35-28. There's Bradford limping on this side.
It looked like they both pulled hamstring. Watch Deion Sanders right there. We just talked about him the play before, how he pulled his hamstring. Bradford runs right by him, and then he grabs his hamstring. That should have been a touchdown.
Should have been. That's Levens across the 45-yard line. Kavika Pittman made the stop. Let's go back and look at that. What should have been a touchdown a minute ago.
Because Deion Sanders took about 5 steps with him, and then he was wide open. That ball was perfectly thrown. It just went right between Corey Bradford's hand. That's been one of the big problems, you know, with this Green Bay Packer team is consistency. They don't have that. And the other thing is a lot of drop passes, and there's Leon Lett for his first play of this season.
First appearance after that 8-game suspension. They showed blitz, but they back out of it. And Favre throws incomplete. Bill Schrader.
There's Deion Sanders talking to Michael Irvin, Pat, and there's no way Deion Sanders can play today.
No.
And the Packers saw it that first time when they didn't throw it to him. Is when he grabbed that hamstring, and they went right to work on the next play with Corey Bradford. Of course, he dropped the ball, and now they're checking Corey Bradford's left leg.
Left knee, it looks like.
What a start. I will say this. The Packers come out and went after him. That first shot to Antonio Freeman, and then the big one to Corey Bradford.
Aguilar's kick. High, good kick. To Jason Tucker, who's going to let it bounce. And it's going to bounce into the end zone. So the Cowboys with Jason Garrett, the quarterback, will take over with the offensive unit.
You know, we already talked about how the triplets are out, and there's one of the triplets, Michael Irvin. He's telling Deion, no, no, no. I mean, he's telling him there's no way you can play, so don't even try and do it. And Deion's not going to give up.
He's going to ride the bike a little bit.
Yeah. And, you know, as we said, you know, he had that toe problem, and the toe is really okay. And his leg problems right now are his hamstring and his groin. And I would say his hamstring being the bigger problem.
Yeah. Thomas swings out in motion. Jason Garrett drops to throw on first down. Garrett gets it upfield to Warren. And Chris Warren, starting in place of Emmitt Smith, is taken down by Jude Waddy. Here's the Dallas offense. As we said, quarterbacked by Jason Garrett, longtime backup, but he has a 5-2 record as a starter when Aikman has been down before. Adams, Allen, Stepnoski, McIver, and Williams. Shane Gailey says, as John Madden said, they have to get the job done for us. Warren, Thomas, Ishmael, Mills, and LaFleur is the tight end. 2nd and 5. That's caught by Ishmael. And right now for an update, let's go to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, take a look. Vikings trying to pull this one out. Randy Moss calls that one in, 43 yards. With 4 seconds left, it sets up this 20-yard field goal winner attempt by Gary Anderson. He hooks it. It's all tied. We go into overtime. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
I don't know what it is, John, about field goals, but a lot of them seem to be missed. I don't know if it's they changed balls now and the new kicking balls.
Or how about just kicking against the Bears?
Maybe.
Remember the Packers last week had that one blocked, the end lose.
Warren will get a first down. No, he won't get a first down. They had a first down. Green Bay's defensive line, Holiday, Brown, Dotson, and Booker. 3 linebackers, Jude Waddy, Bernardo Harris, George Kuntz, the secondary, Williams, Sharper, Butler, and McKenzie. Leroy Butler, the catalyst. 2nd and 6. Santana, Dotson, and Gilbert Brown swap sides.
This is where Leroy Butler blitzes from a lot. And here he comes.
Garrett got rid of it quick enough. And for another just 1 second. I was about to send you for an update, but there's a flag on the play.
It's going to be roughing the passer against the Green Bay Packers. We saw Leroy Butler there, and you could just read he was coming.
Roughing the passer. Number 36 of the defense, throwing a
against Leroy Butler.
15 yards.
You see it all the way. Here's Leroy Butler here. He comes free. Jason Garrett throws the ball, and he not only hits him after he throws the ball, he looks like he just punches him in the head with that right hand.
In the back of the head. That is Mrs. Jason Garrett.
Yeah, that's Jason's wife, Brill. went to Princeton with Jason.
Yep.
In fact, she's a lawyer. I think she was in prayer at that point.
2 tight ends. There's Warren. Emmett Smith out, of course, with a broken finger. He broke it on Monday night. Has had surgery on it. And he was mumbling about playing in this game.
Well, he thought that he could, that if they have a cast on it and just put something over it, he would go and play. And I don't think Emmett Smith, they talk like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. There's no way he's going to be out 4 or 5 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if he played next week. And if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll play the week after that. Troy Aikman's a different story. 2nd and 6.
And Michael Irvin's a different story as well. Garrett. Up the middle, a strike to Ishmael. Right now for another update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, a seesaw affair between the Eagles and Redskins. Here's how the Eagles pulled it out. Eric Bieniemy with an 11-yard touchdown run with under 3 to play. 2-point conversion is good. Philadelphia wins it. 14th meeting in the last 16 times that they have won it by 7 points or less. Pat and John.
So now Washington's record is 5-4. The Giants are 5-4. Dallas is 4-4. If they could win today, they'd be tied for first place. That's Warren.
Chris Warren is a good player.
Yeah, oh yeah. Has been for a long time. There are the NFC East standings. We were just talking about that. If Dallas could win today over Green Bay, they'd be 5-4, and it'd be a 3-way tie for first in the NFC East.
I think that comes under the rule. If you have a whole bunch, that means you don't have any.
That's right.
Well, we got 3 quarterbacks. We got a controversy. You have 3 quarterbacks, you don't have any. I think when you got a whole bunch of teams at 5-4, you probably don't have any power there.
2nd and short. Warren moves the pile straight ahead behind Robert Thomas. Booker made the stop. Those of you who watched the Eagles upset the Redskins, welcome to Texas Stadium. Dallas on the move against Green Bay. No score yet with 9 minutes to go.
And a couple of things Chan Gailey said yesterday the Cowboys are doing right now, letting this big offensive line handle things here and running with Chris Warren.
Garrett drops, lost it to the end zone. Pass is caught by Ernie Mills. Did he get them both down? The Packers don't think he did.
Now that was thrown a little too late.
Yep.
That ball has to be out of there a little sooner. Jason Garrett has good pass protection here. You see, and he took a peek over there to the right, then he peeks back to the left, then he comes back to the right. And it was a little too late. If he throws that ball a little sooner, that's a touchdown.
Mills got 1 foot down.
Although that's not bad, and that's good coverage out there by Mike McKenzie, number 34.
Yep.
He's just a rookie, but he's one of the better rookies in this league right now.
2nd and 10 to Chris Warren, who squirms straight ahead to the 5. That's good running.
As Chris Warren was saying yesterday, that he's always one of those guys that every coach he's ever had, all the way back to high school, then he went to Ferrum, then he plays at Seattle, then he comes to Cowboys, always says he's running too straight up and he doesn't look like he's going full speed. He said, but I've always been going full speed. He said, I run as fast as I can.
And nobody's ever been gaining on me.
And I run pretty fast. And they always say, hey, run full speed. You're not running full speed. And that's the way he looks when he plays. He kind of lumbers in there, and you look, and he picks up 7 yards.
3rd and 4. They fake to Warren. They look to LaFleur, and LaFleur gets the touchdown from Jason Garrett. Good-looking drive.
Jason Garrett did everything on this drive that he had to do. The offensive line did everything that they had to do. Chris Warren did everything that they had to do.
His wife prayed.
And Brill says, I did what I could do. That was a bootleg, and Jason Garrett does that well. They put in some special things for him, and that was one of them. Down here in the goal line, he's a little quicker, a little better runner than Troy Aikman. They bring him out in the bootleg, and he hits David LaFleur for a touchdown.
Cunningham's extra point is good. And the Cowboys lead Green Bay 7-0. Green Bay has always had difficulty when they come down here to play.
Yeah, and the Cowboys got off to a good start here. And you can see the bootleg. Jason Garrett is going to fake. Then he's going to come out here, and he's going to have 3 receivers on this side. And they have them layered. In fact, we can just stop it right now. We can see here's the deep receiver, here's the short receiver, and the guy they don't cover is the middle receiver, David LaFleur. And there's Garrett, and he sees him perfectly. That is great spacing and a pretty good pattern down there.
10 plays, 80 yards. They kept the ball 5 minutes, 48 seconds.
You know, and it's a different Jason Garrett. You know, Troy Aikman was injured Monday night, had a concussion. They knew all week that he wasn't going to play. So Jason Garrett knew all week that he was going to play. So the game plan is a game plan for Jason Garrett, and he got all the reps in practice.
And Troy Aikman just looks on.
Troy Aikman is going to go out to Los Angeles tomorrow to have an examination and see what a doctor out there thinks that he ought to do.
He's had about 3 opinions already.
He said today was the first day that he didn't have a headache since his concussion.
Mitchell comes out of the end zone and gets to about the 17-yard line where the Dallas special teams do their job. Darren Woodson, who plays a lot on defense in the nickel package, on special teams.
Darren Woodson probably plays more than any other player, and you know, just because he plays every defensive play, then he plays the special teams. Here was Deion Sanders. Look, here's the first play. They didn't throw it to Bill Schrader, but Brett Favre saw that, and they come right back to Corey Bradford. There's no way that Deion could run, and he just runs right by him, and then Michael Irvin is over there telling him, no, don't do it.
And Bradford bruised his knee on that attempted touchdown catch, and we don't know if he'll be back or not. Right now, for an update, let's return you to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, the kickers' woes continue. Bears with a chance to win it in OT. This 41-yard field goal by Chris Bonio is no good. We stay tied at 24 in overtime. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Nightmares for kickers.
What did JB call them? Kickers' woes?
Yes, he did.
This league is full of kickers' woes this year, among other things. It's very interesting.
Favre gets it out to Tyrone Davis. Stopped by Charlie Williams. Here's the Cowboys defense, and there are some names you'll recognize: Pittman, Spellman, Hennings, and Ellis. Dexter Coakley, Randall Godfrey, and Darren Hambrick. And then in the secondary, it becomes something else. Deion Sanders, George Teague, Darren Woodson, and Kevin Smith, but a lot of reserve players are going to get their playing time.
Yeah, Charlie Williams has taken Deion Sanders' place as a corner.
Here's Levens behind the line of scrimmage by Godfrey. He's one who's playing very well of late.
Yeah, he was. You know, they moved him from an outside linebacker into a middle linebacker, and he's getting comfortable at middle linebacker. And anytime you can hold up, and then you can run through and get penetration. You see, because the lineman can hold up, you see Godfrey run through. When you can run through, you read something, and all the linemen are taken up so that they can't come off on a block, then you can get a free run through at the running back.
So Louis Aguiar back to punt it. And to return it. Flag on the play was Jason Tucker. Flag on the play.
That's going to be against the Dallas Cowboys. Both of them were at or around the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be in the holdup area. You know, the two outside gunners can go when the ball's snapped. The rest of the guys have to go when the ball is kicked. So you try and hold them up, but you can't physically hold them. And there's more and more of that physically holding going on.
During the kick, holding number 29 of the receiving team, 10 yards, first down for Dallas.
And they're calling it is right there. That's Chris Akins.
former Packer.
Yeah, I mean, he just grabbed and took the guy down. But you know, they talk about holding him up, and you can hold him up, but you just have to give him bumps. You can't grab him and hold him and throw him down. Jason Garrett had a pretty good first series. I'll tell you one thing, that you think of Jason Garrett as a young guy, and he's a backup to Troy Aikman, but he's older than Troy Aikman.
He played it collegiately at Princeton, and after that in the World Football League in Canada. 1st and 10 on the 24. Garrett going upfield, pass caught by Ishmael, and it is a catch.
And that's the thing, the Packers talk about what they had to do. They have to take away this guy here, Rocket Ishmael. And you see here he's against Mike McKenzie, and he just runs the comeback. McKenzie really has pretty good coverage, but Ishmael just gets him by coming back right there at the end. And it all starts here with pass protection. Now here are two of the biggest guys you're ever going to see. Now that in Berkeley is registering on that, what do they call that scale?
The Richter.
The Richter scale. That just got measured on the Richter scale.
There's Warren again, just sort of stepping through bodies and picking up 5 or 6 yards and standing straight up.
And that's one thing that the Green Bay Packers have to do. And then you talk to Ray Rhodes, you talk to the players, they say we have to stop the run. They're 28th in the league against the run, and you can see now early in the game they're having trouble stopping it.
2nd and 4.
We'll say this: the Cowboys and Chan Gailey calling the plays have a good mixture in this game on these two drives.
Well, they've opened fast in almost every game. Here's Warren again. And Chris Warren picks his way for a Cowboy first down up to about the 48.
And these running backs can smell it too.
Yeah.
When they get stuff early and they're getting blocking like this and they're getting holes like this, you see Stepnoski comes out and gets good leverage there on Gilbert Brown. Larry Allen gets his guy going back. It's Larry Allen that really creates a hole. I mean, he just gets that push. He just gets that extra thing on Vonnie Holiday, gets it back, and Chris Warren knows enough. When you start to get into that left side, get right in behind number 73.
Did you see how fast Stepnoski got on Gilbert Brown?
Mark Stepnoski is very, very, very quick.
Garrett caught. Ernie Mills.
Jason Garrett starting out here. He's 6 out of 7.
Yeah.
I mean, but they have plays. This is a Jason Garrett game plan. I mean, it's where he gets a 3-step drop. Ernie Mills is going to come in here, take about 6 steps, and just go to the inside. And did you see how the ball was in the air before he even made that final cut?
Robert Chancey is in the backfield for Dallas, and he is a load. 252 pounds. Was a baseball player. Has been with the Bears in San Diego, but he is huge. There you go, Chancey.
Chancey didn't go to college. He, as you said, he came out of high school and was a baseball player and played A-League baseball for a while, and then he was with a couple other teams, and Chan Gailey saw him in Chicago. And he said that he always liked big running backs. And Robert Chancey was a big running back, so with the injury to Emmitt Smith and then Chris Warren moving up, Robert Chancey becomes the backup tailback.
2nd and 9. Here's Garrett back to throw and going deep. And incomplete, intended for Mills.
That's what Garrett does well. He throws a good deep ball, but he throws it quickly, so he doesn't throw it a long way. He doesn't have a strong arm.
That's what Chan Gailey was saying yesterday. He throws the long ball well because he throws it quickly.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the real strong arm that you would associate with a guy throwing the ball deep, but he gets it out of there so quickly. Remember the game we did? In fact, it was against these two teams in Texas here on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, I do remember.
When Jason Garrett went, and he had a big day throwing deep to Alvin Harper. Oh, watch out.
Whoa. He's trying to call a timeout. I hope he got it called because the ball went right by while he had his hands over his head.
And he did get it called, too, because I watched the referee.
First, it will be a 30-second timeout.
You know, as Mark Stepnowski says, remember, he told us he's always the last one to know. And here you see Jason Garrett. He's right here in the shotgun, and he's going to call timeout. He calls it to the referee right back here. The referee sees it. Jason Garrett starts to walk away, points to the referee, hoping that the referee saw it before the ball was snapped, and he did. There, right off the bat, like three-step drop, boom, and throw it.
That last one to Michael Irvin. Along with the other two members of the triplets.
I remember before that game, he gave his wife credit for saying, "What's the big deal about you playing quarterback? Just throw it deep to Alvin Harper."
Garrett, 3rd and 9, out of the shotgun. Found Jason Tucker with all kinds of time.
And the Packers go into a three-man line. And you just see they got 1, 2, 3 rushers here. And against this offensive line, they don't have a chance. I mean, because they can double up everyone. Look at the time Jason Garrett had. I mean, there's any quarterback in the National Football League, if you have that much time, is going to find a guy open. And there's no way that you can expect your cover guys to cover during all that time. You have to get a rush on. They said they were going to be aggressive. They were going to go after him, and they haven't done it.
Warren. He gets past the first wave, but Jude Waddy leads the second, and down he goes.
We were just talking about time in a three-man rush and the good protection, but look what you can do. Watch Jason Garrett. He looks over the whole field. He started to the right and scanned the entire field before he ended up way over here on the left sideline.
2nd down. Gilbert Brown gets the rest. A minute left in the first quarter.
Gilbert Brown had a rest on that 3rd down.
Here comes the blitz. Garrett gets rid of it. Lofts it out in the direction of Chris Warren, I believe. Bernardo Harris put the word.
Bernardo Harris is just coming right up the middle right here. And you see that he gets there, and Jason Garrett, they had a screen going. Garrett got rid of that ball just before Bernardo Harris got there.
Here's Jeff Ogden checking in. Packers put in their nickel or dime unit, not sure which yet.
Well, I think the thing that they ought to do is either not go with a three-man line, but they are going with a three-man line.
Yep.
I think if they're going with a three-man line, they got to bring a blitz here to get some pressure on Jason Garrett, and they are.
The pitch is back to Warren. He dodges one. A flag on the play. He might have gotten him by the face mask.
And there's another flag after that. Those are when they talk about the Cowboys being conservative, to me it's in that situation right there. 3rd down, they should throw the ball. They run the ball. They're going to get a break here and a penalty.
Tackling by the face mask. Number 57. Happens to the goal. 1st down.
You know, because they get this 3rd down, and they seem to do it in games when they get conservative. You know, they get this 3rd down play, and they just run the ball instead of throwing it. Right there, you can see that was face mask all the way, and Darren Sharper got his hand in there and just kept it in there.
Minnesota finally beat the Bears in overtime, 27-24. Those of you who watched that at Soldier Field, welcome to Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys are on the move. They already lead 7-0. They're inside the Green Bay 10. Garrett. Incomplete. Right now for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat, you got the score. Here's how it happened. Take a look at Jeff George looking for Chris Carter. Pass interference is called against the Bears. That gives Gary Anderson another game-winning try. This 38-yard field goal is good. He was 15 of 23 on field goals coming in. He nailed that one. Minnesota wins it, improves to 6-4. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
That field goal by Gary Anderson looked like it just got over.
Looked like the last shot out of a Roman candle.
Yeah. Second and goal. Garrett. Flag on the play. Sailed over everybody's head.
Yeah, and he came back to that one too late. Again, it's probably going to be against the Packers.
If it is, of course, it's a Dallas first down.
Of course, and that's automatic first down. As you say, Jason Garrett looked to the right, and then by the
number 36 of the defense, half a distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Butler.
And then by the time he came back, it was really too late to throw that slant. You see, he's going to look over here to the right, then he's going to come back here to the slant on the left. And you see, he has the holding. I don't know that it was 36.
It wasn't 36.
That was Darren Sharper.
Yeah.
And that's who I thought it was on. And Darren Sharper was the guy that held.
3 tight ends set up. That's Lucky on the move. And Warren slips out of a couple of tackles. Gets down to about the 1. He's remarkable, isn't he?
Yeah, he just stumbles. You think that you got him and you look like you have him, but you have to remember that he's a big guy, too. I mean, he weighs 230 pounds, so you're not talking about some little running back, but he runs straight up. In fact, he reminds me a little of Calvin Hill. He runs straight up and just keeps going.
He just doesn't hurdle people. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Cowboys 7, the Packers nothing. Fox NFL Sunday from Texas Stadium will continue after these messages. Back at the home of the Cowboys, Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas.
That first quarter has been the first quarter of the Cowboys. They had the ball 11 minutes, 31 seconds. The Packers have only had the ball 3 minutes and 29 seconds.
3 tight ends set up. Garrett. Run. Out of bounds at about the 3. Jude Waddy in pursuit.
Yeah, that was that same type of pattern that they ran earlier that they got the touchdown on, and that time the Packers said, you did it once, you're not going to do it again. But look at these first quarter stats. They're all Cowboys. Rushing yards, passing yards, total yards, first downs. Look, the Cowboys have 11 first downs. The Packers only have 1. We talked about time of possession.
Yep.
For the Cowboys, that's been complete dominance.
Third and goal now. Excuse me, John.
337.
This Warren couldn't break the tackle by Jude Waddy again.
And that was a good tackle by Jude Waddy, because Chris Warren was one-on-one there with Jude Waddy. Waddy, of course, taking the place of Brian Williams, who was the Packers' best defensive player, was out for the season. But watch right here, when Warren breaks to the outside, he has one-on-one on Waddy, and Waddy makes a great tackle.
Yeah, he did.
Because if he doesn't make that play, this is a touchdown. Warren makes a good move to get there, and then he tries to give him that move to the outside, and Waddy just grabs his right leg.
Richie Cunningham, who's had great difficulty this year. He missed.
Continues to have great difficulty this year.
Chan Gailey just can't believe it. He says in practice that Cunningham is just almost perfect, but getting the game and it's not good.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford style. By Nortel Networks, we're building the new high-performance internet. By Sony Vaio computers and digital handycam camcorders. And by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the quiet company?
Now that's an art, getting your cowboy hat shaped correctly.
And then if you're in an old cowboy movie, it never falls off.
That's right. You don't ever take it off.
You know, I think, going back to that last drive and that second guessing, I think when they talk about Chan Gailey being conservative, it's not the overall plays, but it's that third down. I mean, 3rd and 4 and running the ball. I mean, they did it just before that, then they don't get it, then they have to try for the field goal. And when they were going down here, they did it on a third down. They ran the ball, and there was a penalty on it, so they did get a first down. But I think that's his conservative play calling.
2nd and 10 for Green Bay. Hand off to Levens, who's looking for someplace to go, and it's not there. Greg Ellis.
Dorsey Levens, I felt all last week, was looking for someplace to go and never did find it. That's left guard Joe Andruzzi down. Just became a starter last week for the first time in alternating a left guard with Mike Wall.
And Wall just checking in.
Andruzzi had a knee injury.
I think that might be what this is. Wall has come in and taken his place. It's 7-0 Cowboys. Back at Texas Stadium, 7-0 Cowboys over the Packers. Mike Wall has taken Andruzzi's place at left guard. Deion Sanders back in the game.
And he's playing press coverage. He's not off.
Tyrone Davis. Here comes the punting team.
The Packers only have one first down, and that was the first play of the game. Watch Deion Sanders here. He went out with a pulled hamstring. Then he went in the locker room and they did something to him. And when his hamstring started bothering him, he got away from that press coverage. He started playing off. Now they took him in the locker room and did something, and now he's coming out and he's playing press coverage again.
Aguilar's punt is a good one. Jason Tucker retreats to about the 22-yard line. And he's got some speed, and he's got some room. And Aguilar knocks him out of bounds at the 35, 37-yard line of Green Bay.
Yeah, we talk about the things that have really had problems for the Green Bay Packers. And we talk about their offense, and we talk about their defense and missing tackles. The other area is special teams has killed them.
That covers it.
See, here's Jason Tucker. He catches the ball. Now, when he catches the ball at this point, the closest guy is 25 yards away from him. So anytime you're not within 10 yards of the punt returner catching the ball, the chances of it having a big return are very high.
First down, Cowboys. Chancey in the backfield. Garrett's going deep, however. And right through the hands of the Rocket.
And that was that fade pattern
short.
that we were talking about, that Jason Garrett gets back there and throws it quickly.
And underthrows it.
He throws it pretty good. I mean, he started with motion. He's against Mike McKenzie there. He underthrows a little short. Now, Rocket Ismail makes a heck of an adjustment. Watch him. He just comes back, and then he gets his right arm over, gets both hands together, and it goes right through the old breadbasket. Watch him. He has a bread basket there. Goes right through the basket on him.
Doesn't have a bottom to it.
He made a heck of an adjustment to get into that position, Rocket did.
Chancey, who's knocked backwards. Lonnie Holiday. Richard Cunningham.
You notice one thing, he's standing by himself. There's no one around him.
One black shoe, one white shoe. Nobody will stand close to him. Let him suffer alone.
Well, then I think, sometimes they probably want to, too.
I can tell you they do. You hope nobody looks at you. Yeah. 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Garrett gets rid of it, but had nothing on it.
Yeah, he had nothing on it because Darren Sharper came from that backside. It's his backside. Now Sharper's going to come from over here. See, and here he comes. And Jason Garrett, it's not only his backside, but he is also looking to the right. So here comes Sharper, number 42. Jason Garrett is looking the other way, doesn't see him or feel him. Lucky he got rid of that one.
So Toby going will punt from just about midfield.
And that was what the Packers have to do on defense, and what they said they were going to do more of this year, and really haven't done it that much. But said against Jason Garrett, they're going to go after him.
7-0. The Cowboys lead. Mitchell back deep for Green Bay, and Toby going the punt.
I haven't understood a word the referee said all day. Have you?
No. I think it's maybe it's the time of day or the heat. Or
You know who's here today?
Commissioner Tagliabue.
Commissioner Tagliabue.
Yeah.
Clint Black.
Yeah.
Who's coming later?
I don't know. You going to stay?
No, Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. And Druzy, by the way, has a sprained right knee. That was the knee that he had difficulty with before. He will not be back. Providing today's overhead views is the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, who've been supplying aerial views of the world's top sporting events for over 50 years. And that's an unmistakable sight. Great location for a stadium, or for a business for that matter. Well, I guess this is a business.
Ask Jerry Jones that. I'm sure that's the answer.
Favre out to Davis. The time of possession continues to be lopsided.
Yeah, you can see that Green Bay's only had the ball for a little over 4 minutes.
9 plays.
And that's why Brett Favre is only, with that one there, he's 2 out of 6. Dorsey Levens has carried the ball 4 times for 4 yards. And the Packers offensively really haven't gotten started yet.
2nd and 2. Here's Levens. Fell for a first down.
And he saw that yellow line there, and he knew that.
No, he can't see the yellow line.
Yes, he can.
No,
I mean, you just get out there and you just, it's something, you don't always see things, and sometimes you just have a feel. I watch Dorsey Levens here. He comes right here, and he may not see the yellow line, but he feels it, and he knows that he has to go right there, and he gets a first down.
Felt the yellow line.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
7-0 Cowboys. 10:40 left before halftime. 2 first downs for the Packers. One they just made, and here's a whistle. Might have taken too much time, or someone moved.
Yeah, that other.
Ball start, number 72, 5 yards. It's still first down.
Earl Dotson.
Yeah, Earl Dotson's having a tough time. Remember in a Monday night game 2 weeks ago, he had those back-to-back penalties and he got ejected from the game. And
big fine.
And I thought that last week he didn't play well, and he looked like he, was kind of a hangover from that Monday night thing, because Earl Dotson's not that kind of guy. And I think he had a tough time explaining it and all those things.
Favre. Did he ever throw it? Flag on the play. He threw it just as hard as he could.
Brett Favre on his wristband last week, he had checkdowns. On his wristband today, he had patience. And I think he's ready to say patience baloney. In fact, he took the wristband off.
Patience is something he's going to need if they don't get the ball a little more often.
Yeah, no, I think it's something that he's had enough of, and knows that he has to go out and go get it now.
He's got a wristband on either arm, but nothing. There's no message there.
No, it's not that earlier in the. This is what he wore out earlier, saying it said patience right here, and he had all those reminders to himself. And I think when you only have the ball about 4 minutes and you're down 7-0, he said enough of that.
Gets it to Strader, and Strader gets a Packer first down. That looked like the Brett Favre that we've seen over the years. Teague made the stop.
Well, he has such great feet. I mean, he has very quick feet, and then he's strong, and then he has a strong arm. And here's Schrader coming out here in a slant. He catches the ball. The ball is thrown perfectly, so he doesn't have to break stride, and he can run right through the defense. He got that first step on Kevin Smith. Trying to audible.
Back is Favre, and going deep is Favre over the head. of Schrader. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader when the NFC Central leading Lions battle Antonio Freeman and the Packers. Then the Giants clash with Brad Johnson and the Redskins. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Who knows who's going to be in first place by that time?
No, that's a topsy-turvy year, and this division that the Cowboys are in, as you say, you don't know who's going to be. I think it's interesting here that Deion Sanders is down here. I think I'd try him out.
Screen pass against the blitz, and that's what you'd like to have called. Levens knocked out of bounds and gets the first down.
This is the thing that you try and do. Here's Dorsey Levens here. You're going to get your screen out here. He comes up and just gets out there. Now, usually the Cowboys do a good job at turning and coming back, but see, Dorsey Levens sneaks out. The rushers don't see him, and they get by him. George Teague was up there, and he almost missed the thing. Watch Dorsey Levens concentrate on that ball, catch it from behind with one hand. Then when he gets turned, then he has big Mike Wall, his left guard, out in front of him.
Levens again, across the 40.
The thing that the Packers have to do. I mean, the two things Ray Rhodes talks about consistently, consistency, doing something consistently.
Yeah.
And then, Brett Favre talks about we have to execute. We have to execute. We have to make plays, and this is what they haven't been doing. And then they not only have to execute and make plays, but put those plays together.
Here's Favre. Headed deep, and a flag on the play. It's Sanders against Antonio Freeman.
Have you just figured out that they? Just felt that they had to try Deion Sanders, so they put Corey Bradford out there, who's their fastest guy, and said, let's just run up on him. Let's just see how that hamstring is. And there's no way Deion Sanders should play, and there's no way he should be out there because he cannot run.
He can't play. He just can't play.
I think what they figure is they have Juwan Hawthorne.
On the play, personal foul, roughing the passer, number 96 of the defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 21 of the defense. That penalty is accepted. First and goal.
Here's Bradford against Deion.
See, you can see right there that Deion Sanders can't run. And he doesn't look back, you see, and that's what the penalty's on, and it wasn't that bad a situation. Now here's the refereeing right there, so they had the two. After he threw it, he just threw Brett Favre down, but they took the pass interference penalty.
To about the 6. Levens.
This has been one of the areas that the Packers have had trouble. You look, they've been down there 24 times, 12 TDs, 7 field goals, and this has been the big problem for them here. The 5 turnovers down in this area. But I think, when you have a guy like Brett Favre, and you see Deion Sanders going off, there's just no way he can cover down here. You're a gunslinger. You got to go for it. You can't let those things slow you up or keep you back.
Here's Favre. Looking right. Dumping out of bounds. Looking at Levens.
That's the problem with that sprint. Once you sprint to that side, you almost have to throw to that side, and then you really limit the field. In fact, what the Cowboys are doing now is in their dime package, they have to put Deion Sanders back in because they don't have enough defensive backs.
As badly as he's limping, and you saw him limping coming back to the field, he can't cover anybody.
No, and in fact, he's out here right now, and Corey Bradford, I just throw a slant to him.
Favre with time. Scrambles. Pass is picked off in the end zone.
And
Kevin Smith.
We just talked about that was their problem, and they had it. But I looked at Corey Bradford on a slant, and he had Bradford on a slant, and he didn't see him.
Favre slow to get up. This is his 118th consecutive game that he has started.
Yeah, but that was his fault. He did have a slant there, and he had Corey Bradford in the end zone, and he could have had a touchdown.
The Cowboys escape and lead 7-0.
Yeah, if you look at Corey Bradford here, right at this point here, he is open. Brett Favre is looking at him, and he should have gone to him. And if we just take it and just stop it right there, you see Corey Bradford's open. I mean, he's open the whole way. Brett Favre looked like he left a little too quickly and ran out to his right.
Chris Warren.
Chris Warren on the carry.
See now he goes to the outside. He starts to run here, and you see what happens to him. You see he has Corey Bradford back there, but now he's running and he's not looking there. He's looking to the right side. Well, so then he gets hit here, and he doesn't get hurt on the hit. It's right there. He just went face first into the ground.
He was looking to see what happened to the pass, and the ground jumped up at him.
If he would have stayed with Corey Bradford, he had a touchdown.
There's Garrett with time. Incomplete. In the direction of Rocket Ishmael.
Yeah, and that was good coverage. One of the things the Packer defense wants to do is take it away Rocket Ishmael. And if they can take away him, put the game in the hands of Jason Garrett, where he has to throw to the other guys, then they have something. And that time they had great coverage on Rocket Ishmael, and Jason Garrett was smart in it. He just went and threw it away.
Favre seems to be okay. Remember, he was slow getting up after he threw that interception.
He's probably looking at that slant and, to Corey Bradford, that's the thing that he should have stayed with.
Shotgun formation. Packers sharper off the corner. It got there again. Butler came from the other side.
And they're bringing both safeties. That's the thing that they talked about doing, and they are having success with it. And you can see here's Sharper coming right here. Butler's coming from the other side. And it's the same thing. The Cowboys haven't adjusted to that because they have Sharper right up there on the line of scrimmage where you can count for him, and they're not counting for him.
Mitchell back deep for Green Bay, and Toby Goen will punt out of his own end zone. Goen gets off a good punt. Basil Mitchell retreats, fell down, lost the ball. The Packers got it back. Scott McGarrahan was back there with him, and he took a shot.
It was lucky that Scott McGarrahan was back there with him. He recovered the ball.
And he got hit. Yes, he did. 7-0. The Cowboys lead the Packers. 5:50 left before the half. Levens gets a carry, and there is very little there. Brandon Noble.
Corner for Deion Sanders, and I see Deion Sanders on the sideline. I think they're just going to keep using him in nickel and dime situations.
The pass complete to Bradford.
I think Brett Favre knows that too, and and Sherm Lewis have figured that out, that they're having a problem at this right corner. This is Corey Bradford now. That's the one that he should have thrown down there in the goal line. One they probably looked at the pictures. Now they come back into midfield and they throw that slant in there to Corey Bradford. That time on Charlie Williams.
1st and 10, Green Bay. At their own 45, and the pitch is back to Levens, and Levens into midfield and into Dallas territory.
This is a thing that they have to do. The Packers are as good as Brett Favre, and everyone knows that, but he needs a little help, and part of that help is his line blocking better, and Dorsey Levens getting some running going so that every play doesn't have to be Brett Favre making it.
2nd and 3. Levens was hurt earlier in the week. There was doubt about whether he'd be able to play, but he is able. He gets close to a first down. Lonzo Spellman Wrapped him up.
He felt that yellow line, but he just couldn't get to that yellow line.
3rd and 1.
The thing about these Cowboys, with Leon let out, they've had a chance to play a lot of other guys and a lot of younger guys, like Pepe Zellner, who's been in there, Ekuban, their #1 draft choice, and get some of these young backup guys in there, and they just keep rotating them all the time, and they always have 4 fresh guys up in front playing.
And Spellman's been a very pleasant surprise. They didn't know what to expect from him. Here's Favre rolling right. Incomplete. He threw to Freeman, and Favre was hit just as he let it go.
And you can see that this is a rollout. This is an organized play. Dorsey Levens is supposed to block the end man on the line of scrimmage. Well, Brett Favre just gets out there and he really takes a hit
from Godfrey.
Well, he got knocked backwards going the other way, and
that whiplash. Whipsaw, whatever.
Look what happened to him. He hasn't been sacked yet, but he's been hurried 6 times, knocked down 4, and has thrown 1 interception
in the end zone.
They knocked his helmet crooked on that one.
Aguiar back to punt. Tucker just made the catch. Whoa, I'll tell you, that ball was about an inch away from the ground when he made that catch. What's this? Whoa. Here's the fumble that gives Green Bay their break.
Yeah, it's either 95 McKenzie or Bernardo Harris that knocks it out. And then you see Vonnie Holliday's just standing there, and the ball comes right out to him.
Favre back to throw it. Drops it out to Dorsey Levens, and Levens is wrestled to the ground by Darren Hambrick.
They got down here. They had Deion Sanders is back in again now. They had Tyrone Davis was split out here on him, and as a split end, and they tried to go deep to him. Here he is. You see, he comes out here. You see, and then he runs a corner on Deion. Now, Deion had good coverage on him. That was the guy that Brett Favre was trying to go to, and Deion Sanders just covered him.
7-0 at the 2-minute warning. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. 2nd and 8. 5-11 to the 20 and knocked backward.
Look at this story here of the 2 different quarters. In the first quarter, Green Bay only had 9 yards. In the second quarter, they had 72. Dallas had 128 in the first quarter, and they've only had 1 yard here in the second quarter.
That's amazing.
And then Green Bay, has to take advantage of that. I mean, if their quarter is the second quarter, they got to get the ball in the end zone.
3rd and 6, and they got to do it.
Get a first down
right now. Favre drops to throw it. Has all kinds of time and misses. Intended for Corey Bradford, who had no shot.
And as you say, he had plenty of time, and he just couldn't find anyone open. Here's Corey Bradford out here. Kevin Smith is on him, and Corey Bradford doesn't get open. See, he shouldn't be putting his hands up anyway. Just ought to run the pattern. Brett Favre will be back there, and if you get open, he'll usually see you. You don't have to be waving your hands.
And he'll usually hit you. That time he didn't.
Because the coverage held it too long. It came open, but too late.
38 yards away, Ryan Longwell. And his field goal is good, and he gets the Packers finally on the scoreboard. It's 7-3 Dallas. Ray Rhodes, frustrating time for him and the Packers. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader when the NFC Central leading Lions battle Antonio Freeman and the Packers. Then the Giants clash with Brad Johnson and the Redskins. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific.
You know, and we get to see the St. Louis Rams next week, and I've seen a lot of them on highlights and heard a lot about them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
We'll be at the 49ers home next week. This is Tucker. And down he goes just short of the 20. They must be pretty good, the Rams.
Well, you know, I know one thing. I know that, you know, Kurt Warner, their quarterback's having a great year. I know that they have a lot of speed on offense, and just wondering how they're getting it done in other areas. But, you know, I've known Dick Vermeil for a long time, as you have, and you know that, you know, whatever, he's a bulldog, and he gets on something, he's going to stick with it, and he has stuck with this. And neither one of these teams that we're looking at here today, the Cowboys or the Green Bay Packers, remind you of the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers of just 3 or 4 years ago.
These two don't frighten you too much, do they? Here's Chris Warren. Warren just lopes for a first down.
And, you know, and they're having the same problems. I mean, you know, like Dallas will look good for a while, and then they look like they pull in the throttle. Green Bay will move the ball a little, and then they can't get it in the end zone. You know, you wonder how the NFL finds a guy like from a place like Ferrum, a guy like Chris Warren. They don't miss him from any place anymore, but he's been in the league for 10 years.
Ferrum College is in Virginia.
And he says, you know, it's up by this and that, and then all the places he knew, I didn't know.
And then he said, you said, what's their football budget? And he said, about the same thing it was when I was there.
He said, that's the problem they have now, and that's the problem they had when he was there at Ferrum. They got the same budget.
First and 10. After that run by Warren. Here's Jason Garrett back to throw it and going deep. And caught by Eric Bjornsson. Not heard of for some time. Bjornsson, about the only time we've mentioned his name is when he holds.
Yeah, and Chan Gailey was saying that he was going to work him into the game more because he's losing some receivers. He puts Bjornsson, who's normally a tight end or H-back, split out to the outside. Darren Sharper's on a man-to-man, and Jason Garrett dropped that one in there perfectly.
32-yard pickup from Garrett to Bjornsson. Can't remember ever saying that before. Here's Warren to the 30.
You know, I think they finally figured out that Bjornsson, isn't a tight end. You know, they tried to use him as a tight end, and you know, he's just not big enough. They tried to get him bigger and all those things, and it didn't work, so they let him just be his normal size. He's not a real big guy, so he can kind of be that tweener, you know, not big enough to be a tight end, but you know, you can put him in the slot, split him out, do those kinds of things.
They tried him as an H-back, and he just doesn't block well enough to be an H-back.
No, he's just not big enough. You can see his helmet doesn't even go over all of his head.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. All the scores, the highlights from around the league, some unusual scores. Fox Sports Ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. I wonder why we always say JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. What? Why does it have to be in that order?
I don't know.
Too tough, huh? 7-3 the Cowboys. They pick up the blitz. Bjornsson again, the target.
Bjornsson looked like he didn't even know the ball was coming.
That's right.
He didn't think he was open. He didn't think that Jason Garrett would throw it to him. And Jason Garrett said, heck, we did it on the right side. Let's try it on the left side. So he goes over there, and he did have a step there for a while. And he looked like he lost the ball.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett takes a hit. I mean, that's why a quarterback has to be a tough guy. And you think of quarterbacks is kind of fancy, but that's a tough act when you have a linebacker right in your face and you have to step right into a throw.
Most of the time when you get hit, you have no chance to get ready for it. Pass caught by Ishmael.
And then again, the Cowboys are going to run in here and try and get a field goal.
Richie Cunningham has missed 3 out of his last 4. He's really had a tough year.
They're going to be able to get it off. They got plenty of time to get this off.
Bjornsson holding, 44 yards out for Cunningham. Could be. Yes, sir. Richie Cunningham finally hits. And that should do him a world of good.
Big E's carrying him off. Maybe he needs that where he doesn't have a lot of time to think about it.
Maybe so. 10-3 at the half. The Cowboys lead Green Bay.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to the Visa Halftime, along with Chris, Howie, Terry, yours truly, James Brown. Let's get right to the scores and show you where right now Dallas holding a touchdown lead over the Packers. 10. Let's talk Dallas defense, Howie.
Well, you know what? Dave Campo has had his share of injuries. People talk about jobs assistant coach are doing. Dave Campo has done an outstanding job down there with Dallas. They've had a number of injuries. They get Leon let back. They get Ellis, Pittman. Ellis is playing like a first-round guy. Henning might be the only guy that runs over a 5-flat 40 in the entire defense. This is a very good defense. 0 for 6 on third down conversions, 83 yards in the first half for Green Bay. Not converting in the red zone, as John Madden pointed out.
It is painful to watch the Green Bay Packers play offense right now. I cannot believe how much they miss Mike Holmgren. It's amazing.
All right, some will go to a local news. Others will come back here for more of Visa Halftime after this.
The Cowboys 10, Green Bay 3, and here's what put them ahead.
And there's always one rule of kickers is after you kick a field goal at the end of the half, always watch out for your right tackle.
Yep, in this case, Big E, Eric Williams.
That's when you know that's when you know that a kicker is struggling.
Well, you also know
when your right tackle is happy with you.
That he's not very big either.
Look at the first quarter stats, and you can see that Dallas won everything in the first quarter. Rushing yards, passing yards, total yards, first down, no turnovers. Look at the time of possession. So then we go to the second quarter, and now it's a totally different game. Now Green Bay starts to win that. They get the pass yards, they get the total yards. They start to get some first downs, 5-2. They both have a turnover apiece, and the time of possession that goes in Green Bay's favor. So it was kind of Dallas won the first quarter and then got that field goal at the end of the second quarter. Green Bay won the second quarter, but the big thing is they only got 3 points out of it.
And so that results in a 10-3 Cowboy lead. Jeff Ogden back deep. Jason Tucker is going to field it way deep in the end zone. Jason Garrett had to replace, of course, Troy Aikman, and he's done well.
They had a game plan for him, and you can just see that that they've done things like the shorter passes, the rollout. When he throws deep, it's that short drop and throwing deep. So they have a plan for him. And in that first half, for a backup quarterback who hasn't played a lot, Jason Garrett executed it very well.
It looks like that plan fits him pretty well.
And one of the big things there is you see that he's thrown 8 passes over 15 yards. I think that's big because that will keep that defense loose.
Robert Chancey gets the carry, the big tailback, 252 pounds.
It's interesting that the Packers are doing a lot today. They're taking Tyrone Williams, their corner, and playing him as a safety, and taking Darren Sharper, their safety, and playing him as a corner.
And blitzing him a lot.
And then blitzing both he and Leroy Butler a lot.
Pretty sharper over this side.
He's right over here playing a corner position.
And off again to Chansey. Chansey bangs his way outside the 35 for a Cowboy first down.
Now you get a big guy like Chansey that weighs over 250 pounds. You get him rumbling and rolling. I mean, he's going to hit this hole right here. And if there's no one in his way, he is going to be tough to take down when those defensive backs get to him.
And that's a different fullback on that last play, too. That's Ryan Newfield. Newfeld, I should say.
They just activated him.
Yeah. Now it's Chris Warren. And Thomas is the fullback. And Warren. He just sort of lopes in there, and it looks like nothing's happening, and all of a sudden it is.
And well, there's big old Gilbert Brown. I think he ran right into big old Gilbert Brown. You see, Gilbert starts like that. He just kind of collapsed that thing and grabbed the leg.
Larry Allen's limping, and I don't believe I've ever seen that before. Larry Allen limping.
You know, it was interesting. The Dallas Cowboys played the Minnesota Vikings last Monday night, and Foch Fazio said that he thinks that Larry Allen may be the best football player in the whole league. I mean, quarterback, backs, everyone. And you see what happens right there. It's Gilbert Brown. You see Gilbert Brown,
yeah.
He went in there to tackle Chris Warren. He just whipped right around, and he got the back of Larry Allen's legs.
That's a big whip. Right.
Well, there's a lot behind that whip.
Maslinski has taken his place, Larry Allen's place, and now.
I mean, if you'd have to say who's playing the best football on this Dallas Cowboy team, it's that guy right there, number 73.
And is he ever strong?
And you know, and not only is he strong in the weight room, but he's strong in a football game. I mean, he just does it on every play. Never takes a play off. Is a hard worker. And you talk about Troy Aikman being out, Emmitt Smith being out now, Michael Irvin being out, Moose Johnston being out for the season. This is a tough one when Larry Allen goes off the field.
Maslinski has taken his place. Here's Jason Garrett throwing outside, caught by Ishmael. Let's send you down to the sideline now, and DJ Johnson.
Chan Gailey said in the first half that his defense played excellent. He thinks his offense, on the other hand, only executed sporadically. Simple solution for the second half: get the ball in the end zone. Now, Ray Rhodes, on the other hand, he thinks his team needs to take more shots towards the end zone. He says the deep balls that they did throw in the first half were almost completed, and they did execute that well. He says in the second half they will take more deep shots. They'll hopefully get in the end zone. If not, they'll hope for a pass interference. So that's the plan for the second half. Back to you, Pat.
All right, DJ Garrett hit LaFleur on a rollout.
Well, that's the thing that Jason Garrett does so well. We talked about him, being able to come back and then go to the outside. And watch him here. He just fakes, bootlegs out here, and then he has his tight end right there.
First and 10, Green Bay at the Green Bay 47-yard line. Here's Chris Warren again. Warren flashes into the secondary. Picks up about 8. Warren looks like he might have got a little bit of it.
Well,
bruise or something.
A guy like Chris Warren, he hasn't played a lot.
Hasn't been hit a lot.
And you get a guy who comes in and plays 10 or 12 plays a game, and then he has to play every play. That's a total different story.
Looks like it might be his left shoulder. It's stinging a bit. Anyway, Chansey's in.
Every time you carry the ball, go in there like that, you're going to get stinging a bit.
Chansey gets the first down. Down to the Green Bay 35 and across it.
The way the league is this year, the way the league is all the time, you always have to be on the lookout for players. And I think any time you can find a guy like a Chansey, maybe he doesn't play much, and then you lose a Moose Johnston right here, who's your fullback, and then you lose an Emmitt Smith, and then Chris Warren plays, and now you need a Robert Chancey to do some running. So I'd like to always have Troy Aikman out there.
1st and 10. Jason Garrett to Chancey. And he is a load.
When he gets going downhill, he really does. This is a Dallas offense missing their leaders. They're talking about Troy Aikman's out with a concussion, at least another week, maybe 2 weeks. Michael Irvin may never play again. Daryl Johnston is out, and these are the guys that are taking their place today. Garrett Mills, Chris Warren for Emmitt Smith, Robert Thomas for Moose Johnston.
2nd down and 2. Thomas in front of Chancey, and here's Chancey. Bang. Ooh, Sharper felt that little jolt, didn't he?
Chancey picked out one. He picked out Sharper. He was going straight. He went through that hole, and then he saw number 42, Sharper, and he just turns and goes right at him. Watch him as he hits this thing. He gets a good lead block, and he cuts back. Now right there, he sees him, and he just puts his shoulder down, and he says, there's one. I'm not going to get by him, so I'm going to do the next thing. I'm just going to run right over him. See what they did is they collapsed that whole side, and then Chancey got through there and said, where's Sharper?
Warren is back now. And he gets the carry. Lost the ball, and Green Bay has it. Tyrone Williams comes out of the pack with the ball for Green Bay.
We're talking about Chris Warren and the hits and thing and not being used to it. That's also the second time that he's fumbled today. You see again in there, it's just being in traffic, and at some point you have to get both hands over the ball. He was trying to use that left hand to slap away a hand, and in doing so, he got the ball knocked out of his hand.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
You need a new saddle for your bus?
Yeah, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
Saddle making. I need it for my cows. I bought 2 cows in Chicago. They had that Cows on Parade.
Yeah.
They had the auction. I bought 2 of them. So
cows don't need saddles.
Yeah. I got one carousel cow that does.
Favre is down. Greg Ellis and Chad Henning.
Yeah, one thing we talk about what Brett Favre has to do, but he's just not getting a lot of help out there. Antonio Freeman, who is one of the top receivers in football, hasn't caught a pass yet today. And part of it, he just hasn't been open.
Nope.
And the other part of it is this line isn't doing a great job of protecting Brett Favre. I mean, whether he stays inside or goes outside, he has really taken a lot of whacks.
Pass deflected. Intended for his tight end, incomplete.
So someone said that he was trying to force the ball too much to Antonio Freeman. And today it seems like he's forcing it to Tyrone Davis.
Yep.
I think if Antonio Freeman is really one of the top receivers in football and one of the top paid, I think I was going to force something. I'd try and force it to him who could make a play.
Problem is he hasn't been making that many plays.
Number 52, 10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
Frank Winters called for holding.
Because to be honest, I haven't seen that many plays today where Antonio Freeman has been open. In fact, as I said, he hasn't caught a pass today, and in fact, they've only thrown one towards him. And I think that could have been the first play of the game.
Levens goes in motion. Favre back to throw it. Scrambling and looking for somebody. Gets it to Henderson. And Henderson is taken down at about the 24.
By Dexter Coakley, which was a heck of a move by Dexter Coakley. He was the only guy out there. I mean, and that's the type of thing that if he doesn't make the play, just watch Dexter Coakley. He's going to be right here. There's 3 blockers out there. He has to get by those blockers and then make that tackle. You see what Deion Sanders did on that play? Watch him here. He lines up there, lets his receiver go, and then he's coming on the blitz.
He's running better there.
There was a screen pass to his side.
3-man rush. Favre up into the pocket, pulls it down. He's going to slide and come up well short of the first down, and they'll have to punt.
And at some point you can just see the frustration, and part of the frustration is caused by this Cowboy defense. You see Brett Favre under pressure. They sacked once, hurried 10 times, knocked down 5 times. And then the other thing is his receivers really haven't been open either.
You got to have somewhere to throw it.
And you can just look at his face there and tell that he's starting to get frustrated, that this game isn't fun like it was at one time.
Jason Tucker makes a fair catch at about the 31, where the Cowboys will take over. They lead the Green Bay Packers 10-3. Dallas 10, Green Bay 3. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Texas Stadium. Here's where Larry Allen got hurt when Gilbert Brown rolled up on him. There is a player right there.
And they were taking him in there to check his right knee.
Chancey. Straight ahead, not much. Ball came out, but the whistle had already blown.
The thing is, if Chancey gets it going, he's going to get through there, and if there's not a hole there, he's just going to run into a line. Look at the total yards by quarters. Again, Dallas winning the first quarter, Green Bay winning the second quarter, then Dallas coming back and winning the third quarter. Dallas, of course, won really the end of the second quarter, too, with that field goal by Richie Cunningham. There's a warrior.
Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith, he sure is. He's the real deal.
2nd and 8, 9. Pass caught by Mills, and that's a catch. Garrett laid it outside perfectly.
I'll tell you, he can do that. Jason Garrett is amazing the way he can just drop that ball in there. Watch Ernie Mills come here and watch Jason Garrett. The ball just drops right over his shoulder, right into his hand. That's a perfect pass. Watch him, good pass protection. He's looking all the way. He sees him and he just drops that ball in there perfectly.
30-yard gain. Not much way you can defend against that.
Looks like he's worked with Ernie Mills.
Yeah.
And he's done some good timing things with both Ernie Mills and Eric Bjornsson. He's right down here now.
Garrett drops. Rocket Ishmael. Touchdown. He got in. He got down, got up, and got in. From Garrett.
It all started with Jason Garrett's great throw to Ernie Mills. Then he comes back and gets the ball to Rocket Ismail, who's a playmaker. And you get the ball in playmakers' hands like this, they can go down. He wasn't touched when he was down, so he can get up and run it. And then, of course, he gets up and runs it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Now, if he were touched when he was down, it would have been down there, but he wasn't touched.
No argument from the Packers. As Cunningham will try the extra point with Bjornsson holding. And the extra point is good, and the Cowboys lead it 17-3. Delighted Jason Garrett, and the man who scored the touchdown, Rocket Ismail.
And he knows that's the deal. You get the hands and the balls of playmakers, or the ball in the hands of playmakers, and they make plays for you. And talking to Troy Aikman before the game, and I said, how's Jason going to do? And he said, if he gets the ball to Rocket, he'll do well.
He just did some of that. Golan kicks it off in the direction of Mitchell. And Mitchell is hit just outside the 20 and taken down there. Neufeld. Jason Garrett had a good day.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Propecia, talk to your doctor today. By Sprint PCS, experience the clear alternative to cellular. And by the all-new 2000 Pontiac Bonneville, luxury with attitude.
(17-3). Mrs. Jason Garrett, Brill, his wife. You think she's not relaxed?
No, she's not relaxed. She had a smile there and 2 thumbs up, but she's nervous as heck, and she won't be relaxed until this game's over. I'll guarantee you that.
Jason said she didn't give me any advice about where to throw it or who to throw it to.
Well, that was yesterday morning. I mean, he could have gotten some advice since then, but Jason Garrett is a football player. I mean, he comes from a football family. His dad was a coach. His dad's a scout for the Cowboys. His brothers played in college and pro, and there's one brother in coaching in the pros, and
his dad coached me. Here's Dorsey Levin. Right now for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, Arizona's Michael Pittman has scored on a 58-yard touchdown run to make it 23-7 Arizona, but on the next play from scrimmage, Gus Barrett finds Jermaine Crowell, who beats Aeneas Williams. The flag was pass interference on the defense, 77 yards to pay dirt. 2-point conversion failed. It's 23-13 Arizona. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
who would have thought that one, huh? That Arizona would be beating Detroit?
Who would have thought? George Teague. He's an obvious pain. Four and a half minutes left in the third quarter. The Cowboys 17-3 lead Green Bay.
Yeah, watch what happens to George Teague there as he hits with his left shoulder. His left arm just went numb, and that is a stinger with a capital S.
Here's Favre back to throw it and throws it.
Yep, same old thing, drop balls.
That was to Bradford. Should have been caught.
You know, they still haven't completed a pass to Antonio Freeman.
That's unbelievable.
And they still haven't converted a third down, the Green Bay Packers. So that's the thing. I mean, they don't have the offense. They don't have the consistency. They don't. And to me, they don't look like they have a lot of urgency about it. I'm sure they have to care. I don't want to say they don't care, but I don't feel a sense of urgency in this Green Bay Packer team.
Bar drop. Bradford makes the catch at midfield.
He seems to be staying with Bradford. It seems like to me that Tyrone Davis and Corey Bradford has kind of become his go-to guys. One thing about Brett Favre, I mean, when a guy drops one, it doesn't bother him. I mean, inside it has to eat him up, but he'll come right back, just like he did with Corey Bradford. He'll come right back and go to him again.
Favre drops, steps up and fires, and incomplete.
I still don't know what they're doing with Antonio Freeman. I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes it looks like he's just running patterns to, have guys come underneath, like he's just, running through and trying to get guys off so they can hit other things. But you would think that they would have some stuff for Antonio Freeman, and if they do, he ought to get open, and Brett Favre ought to throw it to him.
Well, he said
right here.
Freeman, when we were talking yesterday, he said sometimes they double me and sometimes they don't. But that's the price of being successful in the past. That's Freeman.
Yep, that's the one. They finally said, well, let's start. Someone said, let's get the ball to Antonio Freeman and get him in the game, because a lot of these receivers, I mean, there's only 3 minutes left in the third quarter when he catches his first pass. And I remember guys like, Sterling Sharp was that way. Jerry Rice was that way. A lot of great receivers. You had to get them into the game. Get them that first ball early to keep them going.
On third down, Levens maintained his balance long enough to get the first down.
I'll tell you who made a good block on that one was Ross Verba. Anytime that you get a corner like that, the tackle on that side has to make a good block. Now watch the block that Verber right there gets, and that's how they get that soft corner. You see him right there. They get a double team. He and the tight end really picked off two guys. And Deion Sanders comes up, and not one of the strengths of Deion Sanders.
George Teague is back into the Dallas secondary, and Favre drops and has time this time. Drops it out to Levin. Dorsey Levin crosses the 30, and he got smacked pretty good by Darren Woodson.
And Darren Woodson is one of the top smackers in football. You know, he was a linebacker in college, and Darren Woodson is a guy, if you need a defensive back, he can play it like a defensive back, or if you need him up there, he can play like a linebacker.
Or if you need somebody to run down under punts and kickoffs, he can
does
do that.
I mean, he's a real football player and a tough guy. I mean, Darren Woodson, you know, when he comes, he brings the wood.
And here come the Packers. Bradford was open. Favre got the ball to him. The blitz. Favre saw it coming.
It's one thing. Brett Favre has always been great against the blitz because he can get rid of one. He's strong and big, and he can get rid of the ball quickly. And he looks like you just kind of get the feel that he's kind of getting into this game now. And I think part of it was a couple of completions, and maybe part of it is getting Antonio Freeman in the game. And I think you just have to, you know, keep working that. Dorsey Levens is also running a little harder now.
Henderson is deep. Favre called timeout. He was down to 2 seconds. He knew he couldn't get it underway, so he called time.
You wonder if he got that play in time. I mean, that's the thing. If you don't get it in time, then you have to do this.
Tonight it's Hank Hill's $1 million throw against Dandy Don Meredith, followed by all new episodes of The Simpsons and Futurama. Then it's the shocking conclusion to the X-Files season premiere. All new Fox Sunday starts with King of the Hill, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central tonight. Dandy Don Meredith.
Yeah.
Dandy was still throwing.
Yeah, throwing, and I saw a thing where he said you got to throw it and run it. The only thing he didn't mention is kick it, but old Dandy Don, he could throw it.
Tough guy he was. Ring of Honor across the way.
He was always a lot of fun, too.
Yep, he really was. 1st and 10, Green Bay.
This is the 10th play on this drive.
Favre gets it to his tight end, who makes the catch, and maybe he should have dropped it. Darren Hambrick broke things up.
Yeah, they were trying a trick play, which is a screen. They bring the tight end over and then try and screen to him, and Hambrick again read that and got all the way through. Here he is. You see, he starts there, and then they just hold him, and then they try and get the screen there to Tyrone Davis, but Hambrick was right there.
Yeah.
He didn't have a chance. That thing was sniffed out and snuffed out and was stopped before it ever got started.
Leon Lett.
Let's watch him on this play.
Favre looking and throwing. Bradford is the intended receiver. 12 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I watched Leon Lett, and as we talked about, he was suspended for 8 games for substance abuse, and this is his first game back. And just watching him practice and stuff, he's lost about 15 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks more like a basketball player. He's tall and thin. A lot of guys, when they don't play, they gain weight. They come back and they have to lose weight. Leon Lett looks like he has to gain weight.
Well, he's been playing basketball.
This is a big third down play here. Here comes the blitz.
Favre gets it. Throws incomplete. Intended for Freeman. Broken up. Deion Sanders was nearby.
Amazing, Deion Sanders. I mean, I thought that he couldn't play in this game. Here he is. He's playing off. He gets to jump in there, and Antonio Freeman, and just gets that right hand in there and knocks it out of there. I mean,
just at the right time.
This guy's amazing. I mean, I had said earlier, there's no way he could run. There's no way he should be playing. He has a pulled hamstring, a pulled groin, and Antonio Freeman can't beat him on that play.
Kick is blocked. from 44 yards away. Picked up by Hambrick.
Ryan Longwell is going to have to explain that one. Remember, last week against the Bears, he had one block. He said it wasn't too low. Ray Rhodes said it was.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Cowboys 17, the Packers 3. Fox NFL Sunday from Texas Stadium will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Here's Flozell Adams, the normal offensive tackle, and he's going to get a push here on Rob Davis, get some penetration, get his hand up, and block this kick. See him get the push. Now he turns Rob Davis right there, gets both hands up. I think that kick was a little low.
I think it was too.
It hit Flozell Adams in the right hand. Now that's the third kick that Ryan Longwell has had blocked in the last 3 games.
Chancey is hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Chancey's what you call a battering ram, isn't he? He just kind of rams that thing in there. If there's anything there, he'll take it, and if there's nothing there, he'll just go right into the lane.
That's against Seattle. Went back for a touchdown.
Then he had the one last week against Chicago.
Last play of the game.
Last play of the game, and then the one here. So 3 in a row, 3 games in a row.
I think, from what I've seen, it's just a little too low. The trajectory is too low. Ismail knocked out of bounds. Hit by Tyrone Williams, Bernardo Harris.
Hackett Ismail was sure a good pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they needed someone for years to play that opposite side, you know, from Michael Irvin, and then he becomes a playmaker, and they have different ways to get the ball in his hands. We see him, obviously they throw it to him, and then they hand it to him, they run him to him on a screen, and here's a reverse, you fake to the back and hand it to Rocket coming the other way. He's a big part of their game plan, getting the ball to him in a lot of different ways.
Been replaced by Jeff Ogden as he stayed down after he was hit. Garrett. Incomplete. Ogden couldn't find a handle.
You know, I was watching the Monday night game, and the Troy Aikman had a wristband on, and I asked Jason Garrett if they were going to use a wristband tonight or today, and he said, heck no, they hate that. That what happened is their communication went down Monday night, and it didn't work from the sideline to the helmet, so they had to wear the wristbands where they had all the plays on. Some teams will go to signals. Chan Gailey, as a coach in that situation, uses wristbands.
That's just, the wristband has just a list of all the plays that he might call. Going. Cowboys cover it well and knock it back in the field of play. Jeff Ogden was down and batted it backwards. And so Green Bay will have a long way to go. The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company is sponsoring these aerial views of the game today. In addition to a helicopter, Goodyear has 7 blimps globally. It'll be linked on New Year's Eve to record the millennium around the world.
What is this here?
I don't know what that vehicle is.
It's a blimp copter.
It's a heli-blimp. Flag on the play. Levin's coming out of the end zone.
On that play where Rocket Ismail carried that ball, he got whacked pretty good, and they've been working on him in the sideline ever since.
Jerry Austin, the referee.
Holding. Number 78 of the offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Penalty decline.
That's Ross Verba. You know, the thing that they have to watch out for now is when you throw in the end zone and you pass protect in the end zone, if you hold in the end zone, it's a safety.
It's a safety, right. Brett Favre drops into the end zone. Throws outside. Incomplete. Dorsey Levens, I think, was the intended target.
You can see that they're still working over there on Rocket Ismail, and this is where he got it. I mean, he got hit right there by Bernardo Harris, and I don't think he could get his hands down, and he may have gone head first into the turf.
He did. They're holding up 2 fingers.
Yeah, and they've been checking him.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had the doctors, the trainers over there. They've been checking him ever since that play.
That must mean he's okay when you pat him on the shoulder. You can count to 2.
You can say 2, but even if you can't, you always guess 2.
Favre has the ball batted down, and the Cowboys.
I think that's Leon Lett that batted that ball down. I said that he looked like a basketball player. He's always been good at that. I mean, here's Leon Lett right here. He's always been good at getting a push and then being able to get his hand up in a lane. I mean, Leon Lett as a tackle has probably batted as many balls down as any tackle that I know.
And he is 6'6", and look who's returning punts.
I can't believe this.
Deion Sanders.
I would have, of course, it's going to be great field position. You notice that.
High kick by Aguiar. Deion fields it at midfield. Stays on his feet, and there he goes. How can he be hurt?
I don't know. I can't believe this. I mean, I thought like 2 hours ago that he shouldn't have even played. Michael Irvin was telling me that he has a pulled hamstring. I have no idea how he's doing this.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By PSI.net, the internet starts here. And by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
That's the kind of cows you bought?
I bought big old cows like that. But, you know, you can see those 2 horses in front, and you know why they keep going, don't you? You don't want an abrupt stop right about there. We talk about Deion Sanders. You see, he got
his
that
knee wrapped up now. What else can be hurt?
Or that could be the bottom of the hamstring.
Chancey. Got both legs. And the guy's returning punts.
Yeah, I mean, he has a hamstring and a groin.
He's going to start riding the bike in a minute now, any minute.
No, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I have no idea. And you think he shouldn't be in there, so they took him out, and then they took him inside, and then they brought him back out. Then he just played nickel for a while, and then you think, well, he can't do that anymore. And now he's playing the whole game and returning punts.
And almost broke it.
I'll be good at it.
Okay. Packers saying someone moved.
67.
They're saying Eric Williams.
5 yards. It's still 2nd down.
I think they said Everett McIver, though. They pointed to Eric Williams. Eric Williams is pointing to himself.
Yeah.
Number 79.
They just changed it to number 79 now. He wanted it. He's so proud of it. Eric Williams had a big day. He picked up Richie Cunningham when he made a play. And Rocket Ismail when he made a touchdown.
Wait a minute. Didn't he kiss?
Well, I didn't say that. I mean, he's a big old tackle. We're all in this together. We're all professionals here.
Yeah, right.
Then he picked up, darn near killed Rocket Ismail.
Yeah.
Drove him into the ground. He was just sitting on the bench after a touchdown.
Chancey to the 30.
We saw the one earlier. Now here he is with Rocket. Rocket Ismail is underneath there somewhere. Believe me, he's in there. Look at that.
That's how Rocket got hurt.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, with Big E around, you don't want to do a lot of good things. I mean, if you stay mediocre, stay average, and below average, you won't get the heck knocked out of you. If you do something well, Big E goes after you.
Rocket.
Is this the view from the helicopter or the blimp? What the heck is this?
No, but they're pretty close.
It's upside down.
Garrett, incomplete. Ismail has a right eye contusion. Is that a cut or a bruise, or what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that Evander Holyfield had a whole bunch of last night.
It's a bruise.
I think he got that from Eric Williams on that last play there. Jason Garrett was throwing an out, and the receiver was Ernie Mills, who was running an up.
Richie Cunningham.
Two-way go here. If he makes it, Big E gets him.
From 47 yards out. And Cunningham is out of his slump.
And Big E got him again. You look at him. He just bounced him that time.
The Cowboys increase their lead. Toby going to kick it off for the Cowboys. And hammers it back close to the goal line where Demond Parker will bring it. Out to about the 12 as that coverage is good again.
Now that's the thing that we talked about before the game, that you have Troy Aikman out, you have Emmitt Smith out, you have Michael Irvin out. Jason Garrett's going to play, but it's not all going to go on his shoulders. The defense has to play better, which the Cowboys are doing today. Special teams have to pick it up, what they're doing, and of course Jason Garrett here, has done his job.
And the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what Chan Gailey thought. He said you can put it all in the offensive line. If they can control the line of scrimmage, they can win the game for us. And I think you have to give credit to that group that they are doing it.
Brett Favre got some work ahead of him. Outside to William Henderson. Nothing doing. If Dallas continues and wins this game, there'll be a three-way tie for the lead for first place in the NFC East.
You know what's happening now? The Packers don't have anyone that scares the Cowboys. I mean, there's no one that they're worried about going deep. They're throwing those short passes, and they haven't established anyone or anything that they're doing that the defense has to worry about.
Favre back to throw. Incomplete. Flag on the play.
And that's right in the area where Brett Favre went down, and it's going to be roughing too.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 90, a blow to the head, 15 yards, automatic first down.
To the head. There's a guy who's done a remarkable job. He might get this penalty, Alonzo Spellman.
Yeah, here's Alonzo Spellman right here. You see Brett Favre in the shotgun. He throws the ball's gone. And Alonzo Spellman, I don't know. It was just, that right shoulder there hit him in the head. I don't know that was an intentional blow to the head.
Favre almost stepped into it.
And then, Spellman was just rushing, and he kind of fell into that.
Here's a guy they didn't know if he's going to play football. They didn't know about his health. He's had some problems, but he's played well. Favre.
I'll tell you, he just ran right over Mike Wall that time. That was Alonzo Spellman.
Yep.
They got him on the penalty, and he said, I'll go get some of that yardage back. And you got to see him. He just ran right over Mike Wall. He's just going to line up right here. We got to see this one again. Here he is right here. He's just going to line up right there and just power him. This is just a power rush. He's taking him right back into Brett Favre, and he just swapped Brett Favre, went back, and got that penalty back.
And just smothered him. Favre drops it outside to Antonio Freeman, who gets near a Packer first down. Could have it.
And this is where the Packers have to start playing, picking up the pace of it. I don't want to.
Urgency.
That's a word, urgency, but they have to start playing faster because there's 9 minutes left, but they're 17 points down, and they have to be thinking in terms of 3 scores.
Favre out of the shotgun. Gonna run it himself, runs out at the 40. Not quite the 40.
One of the things that bothers. In fact, I see Mike Wall is coming out now, and they already lost Joe Andruzzi. He was the starting right guard. Mike Wall replaced him, and now I see that Mike Wall is coming out. And Raleigh McKenzie is going to go ahead and play that left guard position. The old 15-year veteran, but.
Second and 9. Good catch by Levens, but not much doing by Levens. got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Brett Favre lost his shoe. I mean, now he's going to, he doesn't want to take too much time putting that shoe on.
Shoe on without untying.
No, you can't untie it because he's going no huddle. He's going no huddle, but you have to go get the shoe on first.
But you got to untie your shoe if you're going to put it on, correct? No. Favre, pass caught by Freeman. Gets into Dallas territory at about the 43.
Again, because he's looking at this right up here, 7:38, down by 17 points, needs 3 scores, and you can't be huddling up and worry about tying your shoes. You got to get up there and make some plays. And as Hank Stram used to say, matriculate the ball down the field.
Far from the shotgun. Throws up the middle. Incomplete. 2 guys, Davis and Freeman, right together. Schrader and Freeman.
Yeah, and if he would have hit Schrader, I think it could have been a big play. I think he was throwing it to Freeman, but they're both going to end up in the same area. You see both of these guys here. They end up out here, and I think that if he would have thrown it to the deeper guy, who's Schrader, right here, or to the outside guy, well, maybe he did throw it to him.
Maybe he did. And
I think he was throwing it to Schrader, and Freeman got in a position of intercepting the ball.
Hit by Teague just as the ball got there. Nothing there. A diving attempted catch by Bradford as Favre is down.
There's about 3 or 4 guys down. Ross Verba's down. Right next to Favre. Favre is down. I don't know. That looked like that ball hit the ground.
Bounces off 2 defenders. Bradford dives.
Yeah, no, the ball hit the ground.
Yeah.
But we can see why Brett Favre was down. Ooh.
That was Spellman again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Alonzo Spellman is really, they didn't know what to expect when he came to the Cowboys.
Well, and then they moved him to a different position from end to tackle. He's been a heck of a tackle.
Favre pass. Schrader, the intended receiver.
At some point, the Packers are going to have to talk about how good they are. I know I talked to Ron Welk before, and he said he can't believe it. I mean, he thought that they had enough good players to get the job done this year, and he said, I mean, he's perplexed at what happened, why they're not doing it. And, I mean, I see their line isn't blocking or dominating. They're not running the ball effectively. I don't think the receivers get open. And, of course, Brett Favre, whatever you say, has not been Brett Favre.
Well, those are 4 pretty good reasons you just listed.
And their defense can't stop the run.
That's 5. The pass is to Antonio Freeman, who jumps. Touchdown. Freeman from Favre, but finally they get it into the end zone.
Yep, they needed 3, and they got 1. So now Brett Favre is thinking there, that's just part of the job. I still got 2 more. They got the 1, and now they're going to have to go and get 2 more. I mean, Brett Favre can do anything with that ball. I mean, it can be up, it can be properly done, it can be improperly done. He can throw it from any angle.
They're going to go for 2, huh?
No, they're
going to extra point. Right.
They're kicking the extra point here. The
Longwell.
interesting thing is going to be, because they need 2 scores, whether they go for the onside kick or not. That's going to be the interesting thing.
I think there's too much time left. Longwell's extra point is good. And it's 20-10. Dallas over Green Bay.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche.
You talk about, I guess you call this a sport, bull riding. You got to stay on for 8 seconds.
Yeah, doesn't the guy say something like that just before he leaves, like give me 8 or something?
Something like that. You mean before he leaves the gate or before he leaves the bull?
Leaves the gate.
Flag on the play. Jason Tucker is finally cut down. There's a flag way back.
Jason Tucker is going to be a player of the future of this Cowboy team too. That penalty is going to be against the Cowboys and come back.
Holding number 44 during the run back. 10 yards. First down.
Jason Tucker can make some plays because he has that speed. He, as a wide receiver and also as a kick return guy. You want to see that whole ride for 8 seconds? That has to be the longest 8 seconds in your lifetime.
He made it.
He made it. And he hit his feet. He never, I mean, he jumped off that thing and hit his feet.
That's a good ride. Or a very calm bull. I'm not sure which.
I wouldn't call the bull calm. Have you ever seen a calm bull?
Not face to face. No.
I don't think they make calm bulls.
Jason Garrett gives to Robert Chansey. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate directors Mike Roy, the broadcast associates are Charles McDonald and Mark Mata. Technical producers Bob Muller. Technical director is Joe Benda. Audio mixers Fred Aldis. The pregame show is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
Did you see Big Eric Williams during that, Pat? He was given the sign to the sideline to run. He gave him a running sign. He was just saying, just keep running the ball.
Garrett back to Chansey. Not quite a first down. About a yard shy.
Chansey knows a couple things. He wants to get a first down, but he wants to keep this clock going. He doesn't want to get out of bounds. You know the best drive of the Green Bay Packers was that last drive, and some people are going to say, why don't they just play that way all the time with urgency and and just no huddle and let Brett Favre call the game and do those kind of things. This is the Cowboys running game there.
That's a question that's forever asked. Why don't they always play like they do in the 2-minute drill or no huddle drill?
Well, I remember Buffalo asked that with Jim Kelly, and then they went to it.
On third down, there's a flag on the play. Chansey didn't get the first down. But let's see about the flag. Green Bay needs the football.
Yeah, the flag is going to be against the Cowboys. It's going to be holding. And if they didn't get the first down, I think they'll make them punt. I mean, probably turn it down because, as you say, they need time because they have to be thinking in terms of 2 scores.
About that much to go for the first.
I still think you turn it down and make them punt because the Cowboys in this situation will have to punt.
Holding number 62. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Myslinski to replace Larry Allen. It's a guilty party. They do turn it down. There's Ron Wolf, the general manager of the Packers, down on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's a sight that you don't see.
He's usually upstairs by himself.
Yeah. Because he's perplexed, and I think that there's some urgency in him, as to wondering what the heck is wrong here, because he doesn't have all the answers.
5 minutes 7 seconds. Clock running now. Toby going back to punt it. We'll check the hang time. Mitchell back deep for Green Bay. And they take too much time. That stops the clock.
I don't think that would be something they were trying to do. Sometimes you do that if you're at midfield.
Number 28.
Yeah. To give the punter a little bit more room.
Yeah, but I don't think in this situation you want to do that.
There's the Cowboys general manager and owner,
and
Jerry Jones.
And he's always down in the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every game. And remember when he first started, I said, geez, I wouldn't do that because you have to go down there when you lose too. And I'll say this about Jerry Jones. He's down there win or lose.
4:51. The clock won't start until he kicks it now. Until they snap it. The coverage is excellent. Neufeld. Tonight on Fox, the truth will either change Agent Mulder or destroy him. Don't miss the powerful conclusion to the season premiere of The X-Files. An all-new episode tonight at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox. Raleigh McKenzie, 15 years, still playing guard.
Yeah, and his brother Reggie McKenzie, also played in the league and works for the Packers in the scouting department.
And I defy you to be able to tell them apart.
No.
Here's Brett Favre. The pressure is on, and Favre is down. The heat put on by Kavika Pittman.
That was Kavika Pittman. He comes from that left side over Earl Dotson, and again, I think that was part pass rush and part coverage because there was no one open for Favre to get the ball away too quickly. Favre is given audible signals and hand signals.
And he operates out of the shotgun and throws upfield, incomplete. Intended for Corey Bradford. I'd like to welcome those of you joining us to Texas Stadium, where Dallas leads Green Bay 20-10 with 4:15 minutes. 4:15 left to play. It's 3rd and 17, and Green Bay getting close to the desperate stage. Brett Favre, shirt tail out of the shotgun. Pressure comes. Chased by Pittman. Throws to Dorsey Levin. 11 is stopped shy of the 45. He doesn't get back to the original line. Tripped up by Deion Sanders.
And Deion Sanders has been an amazing story
Really,
today for those that are just joining. He has a pulled hamstring, a pulled groin. He's been in and out of the game all day. Started, couldn't run, was beaten by Corey Bradford, went inside, got treatment, came back out, played some more, couldn't play again, ended up playing dime, ended up playing regular, and then returned to punt.
And then returned to punt and almost broke it. Flag down. 4 minutes left. This a first down?
Yeah, it was defensive holding.
Oh, I didn't
That's
see
what
that.
it was, and that's automatic first down.
Pass is underneath to Schrader, who moves the sticks. Does not quite enough to move the sticks.
That would have been 4th down, but, but that defensive holding penalty was a big one against the Cowboys.
Well, that I missed. 2nd and 1 here. Favre, and here comes the penalty marker again.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 78.
False start, that's Ross Verba.
5 yards.
Yeah. These are tough situations when you're on the road, you're behind, you can't hear all the snap counts, you're going no huddle, and all those types of things. It's tough for a tackle. Here's Ross Verba. You see, he just moved a little to look outside. He knows he has a tight end on his side. The pass rush was outside the tight end, but that's a guy he had to block. Like right here, that's a guy he has to block.
11. Good tackle by Dexter Coakley. Wrapped up 11. Why do you think that the Packers can't beat the Cowboys in Texas?
I think that the Cowboys just had their number, and I think today the Cowboys are a better team. I think they played better today.
Favre gets the pass up the middle to Antonio Freeman, who gets down to the Cowboy 35. The clock is under 3 minutes now.
There's a couple things here that the Packers can think of. Is they need 2 scores, so they need a combination of a touchdown and a field goal. So they can take the field goal once they get in field goal range, then go for the onside kick, and then try and go for the touchdown.
If they can get the field goal without having it blocked again. Dorsey Levens is cut down for nothing.
Yeah, so now the Packers have to take a timeout.
Yeah.
That was a big tackle and a big misplay by the Packers not getting out of bounds.
For those of you who joined us just a few moments ago, here's the scoring plays today. Here are the scoring plays. Jason Garrett, who started in place of Aikman, to LaFleur. Rocket, Ismail. A pass from Garrett. And Freeman for Green Bay. A leap by the pylon. 2nd and 11. Green Bay down to 1 timeout. Dallas has all of theirs left. 2:34 left.
Yeah, the point that I was making is that you can't waste all your time trying to get a touchdown and then not leave any time for a field goal. So if you get in position and it gets to be 3rd or 4th down, then you kick the field goal, then you go the onside kick, and then you come back and try and get the touchdown.
I was talking to Dion before the game, and he was saying, I asked him how he was feeling. He said, I'm hurting today. I'm really hurting. Well, I don't know what happened, but he got over the hurt.
Well, and he looked like he was really hurting early in the game.
Favre up the middle to Schrader. Inside the Dallas 20.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that the Packers need, is just playing with some urgency, and this game situation is helping create that. I mean, this is Brett Favre, calling the plays, the gunslinger, those.
Well, they need to get a play done here before the 2-minute warning. They got it. Till Evans, and the 2-minute warning will stop the clock. And Brett Favre, Packers quarterback, heads over to the sideline. 2 left, 10 points behind. 2 minutes left at Texas Stadium. Green Bay down to the Cowboy 13-yard line. 2nd and 4. Favre into the corner. Incomplete. Intended for Dorsey Levin.
Now I think they have to take another shot here, and this is a situation that I was talking about. I think they have to take another shot here for the end zone. If they don't make it, I think they have to kick a field goal.
On 4th down, field goal, right?
Yeah.
3rd and 4. If they don't get it first, they got to go for the field goal.
I would think with the time, I think they have to go for the end zone.
Yeah. No.
Whoa,
That they didn't do.
Oh, no. I have no idea what that was all about. I mean, they aren't going to go for the field goal, but I mean, running the ball in that situation and keeping the clock going, I don't know what that. I agree with the play. I would have taken a shot in the end zone. If that didn't work, I'd kick the field goal like they're doing here. Then when you do this, you automatically have to go for the onside kick.
That was a big tackle by Dat Wynn to bring Dorsey Levens down. Barnwell drills the field goal. A minute 21 left. 20-13 right now. For an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, 2nd-year running back Michael Pittman of Arizona has 136 yards on the ground, but he coughs up the ball right here. Terry Fair of Detroit picks it up, takes it 35 yards for the score to narrow the gap to 23-19 with 4:29 left in that game. Time permitting, we'll take you to the conclusion of that contest. Back to Pat and John.
Here at Texas Stadium, a minute 21 left. And we're going to have to see, or we will see, I'm sure, an onside kick.
Well, that's going to be the biggest play of this game is right now coming up, this onside kick. The Packers, because of their timeout situation, they only have 1 timeout. They have to go for an onside kick. So then the Cowboys know that. So the Cowboys are going to be in their onside prevent.
Well, the Cowboys have got all the hands people over to the kicker's left. Longwell.
Because they have more of their cover guys to this side, so you would assume that he's going to kick the ball here. Remember that it has to go 10 yards. It has to go that far.
Green Bay is moving more people over to the left side, so it obviously is going to go in that direction.
And they get them all in a bunch. See the stance they get in there?
And here's Longwell's kick, bounding. Flag went down.
Yep, he'll get to kick it again. Jerry Jones says we got through one of them.
Out of bounds, 5 yards, and re-kick.
That ball really shot through there, didn't it?
Well, it didn't take the bounce.
Yeah.
I think they try and kick it into the ground, and then instead of getting the bounce up high, that one just went right on through. So now we'll get the same thing here.
You want to hit the ball above the middle in a situation like this and hope you people can get there if it does take that big bounce that John's talking about. But the kicker has to hit the ball above there. He takes another big bounce, and Green Bay, I think
they got it.
Green Bay got it.
Oh, and you don't want a Brett Favre in this situation if you're the Dallas Cowboys.
A minute 21 left to play. The onside kick works. It's perfect onside kick.
That's the one that he was looking for the first time, that takes that high bounce at the end.
And Fred Vinson comes down with it. And Green Bay has the ball. And you think about those Favre comebacks. You have to think about those Favre comebacks that he's engineered 3 times this year.
And the clock is stopped now with change of possession.
Yep.
It'll start with a snap of the ball, and the Packers do have 1 timeout.
Just one. Leon Lett started
Ball start.
before.
Number 72.
But it's on
5 yards.
Earl Dotson. Watch Leon start creeping.
Well, you see, here's Earl Dotson. Here's Leon Lett out there. You see Leon Lett starts, and Earl Dotson reacts to him.
Yep.
I don't know that shouldn't have been on Leon Lett, because that was a rule that they changed a couple years ago. That if the defensive guy moves forward and causes you to go outside, it's against him.
Took 2 seconds. Favre up in the pocket. Throws incomplete. Corey Bradford going to come down out of bounds anyway, and he's hurt again.
Kevin Smith better watch out. I mean, he was over here, and he was on the coverage. Then he went over and kind of punched one of the Green Bay guys. That's Kevin Smith here. He's in the coverage, and you see the ball is out of bounds anyway. He just goes right in there and gets a little action with some of the Green Bay players.
Bradford is out. Donald Driver has taken his place. A minute 12 left. 2nd and 15. Favre up the middle. Freeman is open. And the Packers get a first down. Do they take their last timeout now?
No, not because he has a first down. I think, you know, if he wants to stop the clock, he can just throw the ball into the ground.
Yeah.
If not, he can just call a play.
Well, he's already got a play called. Taking his time is Favre, and going deep is Favre, and wide open is, and out of the end zone is Donald Driver. Favre just threw it too far. He was open.
And Ray Rhodes was telling us about Donald Driver. He's active for his first game today and does have speed. And he was looking out there, and it's on Deion Sanders. Driver, the free agent rookie, runs right by Deion Sanders. Watch Deion there. All he can do is point that the guy went that way. Woo!
Man.
Well, Brett Favre keeps that one in the park. That is a touchdown.
That's a tie game unless they go for 2.
No, they wouldn't go for 2. I mean, if they've been in this fight all day like this and they get within 1 point, they're going to kick the extra point.
42 seconds left. Favre drops in the pocket and throws to Strader. Strader to the 25.
Favre still doesn't want his timeout.
Now he's going to spike it.
He's going to go spike it. Yeah, he just wants to get everybody. He can't spike it till he gets his whole team up there and gets them set. He tried that Dan Marino play. But I think he told his whole team that he was going to spike it. And then I think, you know, he started to spike. He just wanted to take one peek out there on Deion Sanders' side to see if maybe Deion wasn't going to run. I think he goes and fakes. I think he wants to take one peek out here just to see if anything's going on. Nothing was going on because they were playing the spike play, not the fake spike play.
2nd and 10, 21 seconds left.
The Packers do have 1 timeout.
Favre gets it out of there, and the pass is picked off by George Teague, and Teague is headed in the other direction. And he'll go all the way in the other direction. George Teague picked off Favre's pass.
George Teague ought to wait till Eric Williams gets there.
95 yards. Teague took it. Now Brill can relax.
He even let some air out.
Yeah.
He was trying to throw the ball on Deion Sanders. If George Teague doesn't jump in front of that ball, Deion Sanders intercepts it. Because Deion Sanders was all over Antonio Freeman.
But this is Teague's tango. 95 yards. And Brett Favre, all he can do is just stick his head in his jersey.
Yeah, he's a warrior, though. And Brett Favre is a football player that'll fight you all the way.
Well, he just did.
Unless he just doesn't have a
bunch of people who, well, he doesn't have as much, a bunch of people who care as much as he does.
He doesn't have the talent that he had around him, and he's as close to a one-man gang as there is. But you know, it's one of those things, and it happens right at the end that has been kind of typical. He hasn't had guys open.
Nope.
I mean, Deion Sanders had Antonio Freeman step for step. Watch Shangaley there.
Get back. Get back. Get back.
I don't know what he's doing. Is that get back waving the waters?
There's, we've been talking about that this afternoon throughout most of the broadcast. NFC East standings. Do you believe that? The Giants are 5-4, Dallas is 5-4, and Washington is 5-4. In the Central Division, Detroit 6-2. They're still playing. Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Green Bay is 4-5, and the Bears are 4-6. All you got to do is play 500, and you might make the playoffs.
Well, you wouldn't have thought that, though. I mean, there's a lot of things this year that you wouldn't have thought, but the Green Bay Packers being 4-5. That never would have crossed my mind with a healthy Brett Favre.
No, you would not have thought that.
The Cowboys had all those injuries and came back today.
27-13, a big victory for the Cowboys and for that guy, Jason Garrett. He did a whale of a job. Wife is, as she should be, very proud. When we return, we'll take you to the conclusion of the Detroit-Arizona game. But first, these messages.